Today we're going to talk a little bit about on-bike storage and how do you ride without resorting to having a hip pack or even a backpack. So I'll walk you through what I put on my bike when I go mountain biking. So the first thing is how you're going to carry water. And usually I'll try to carry a 750 milliliter bottle, something like this. It's got as much water storage as possible. If your bike doesn't have a water bottle cage, you may want to buy a new bike. Second thing I think about is food, and food I think of in two ways. So one is real food and then one is cheap food. So real food are things like bananas and oranges, and I try to pack out everything here that is a peel, and I usually eat that first because it's the heaviest thing. And then for regular food, I have 4 different kind of things that I carry. So the first thing is in the solid realm. So this is like Costco Chewy bars. These are great, they're like 10 cents a piece. The next is this medium firm, especially in cold conditions. It's super helpful, something like a fig bar. It's soft and pliable, you won't shatter your teeth while eating these. And third is something that's gummy. You can get shot blocks for like $2-3 a piece, but these are about a piece in bulk from Costco. These fruit gummy snacks, we all loved them when we were kids. And the last thing I carry is a packet of electrolytes. I don't use them, I just keep them in case the weather gets really hot or I want to top up on my hydration. So I'll carry this as an emergency. Next piece to think about is the flat repair kit. There's 2 things. I have a pump and have a tube. And I'll show you what these are. So my preference is the EDC 1UP. Makes this 70 is the smaller size, 100cc is the larger size. I choose the 70. Some pro tips I put on this, I have duct tape right there, and then I have electrical tape right there. Comes in very handy. Second pro tip is if you're especially racing Enduro and you have a lot of bumps and chatter, you don't want this moving around, and so I added some hockey grip tape right there. This is from a hockey stick. Or any type of very, very cloth, not abrasive grip will help it stay and expand in the holder. And this is on the bike, on the water bottle cage. This thing has a CO2 inflator in case you want to carry CO2 right here. I'm not going to go through that in detail. You can see all that on the EDC profile page on 1UP. On the inside is a little custom setup I have here. So I have bacon strips inside there in plastic. I have a bacon strip here. This is from, I think, Genuine Innovations, and I chopped this off and super glued this so it fits inside the 70cc EDC. 1UP does not make tire puncture repair plug that fits inside the 70cc smaller pump. So I custom made that. And then here's your standard setup. Got some quick links right there for emergency. I used to tape these onto my handlebars. A lot of Pro XC racers would do that too, and Enduro riders. And you have your tool and your tire lever and all the other things here. So this is my toolkit and air source. I don't like to depend on CO2. It's very environmentally unfriendly, costly, and if you use it up once and it doesn't work right, or you get a second flat, you're kind of screwed. So I prefer using the good old standard pump. That takes care of that. In terms of the actual tube, I use a backcountry research strap. These are made in the USA by a small outfit. A lot of pro enduro riders prefer these backcountry research straps. It's kind of their logo right there. This is actually the one for the seat, and I'll show you when I put on my bike where it goes. This is a piece of black plastic, and this is used to keep UV light off of my tube and from abrasion. So a lot of people strap their tube directly onto the frame, and that causes a lot of abrasion and UV damage, and then when you need your tube, it's going to be damaged. And I use a special tube from this company called Tubolito. If you follow all the lightweight forums and stuff like that, you may have seen this on other YouTube channels. But I also keep it protected in the plastic. And this is an ultralight MTB tube. You need to get this in the exact tire width because this is not designed to expand like a Boutal tube. So you cannot use this in a 29er and expect it to just fill up the space. It's like designed for that specific space. And this one especially has a broken valve cap that you can unscrew, and it allows it to be more compact so your valve doesn't extend out and it's hard to put somewhere on the bike. You can use any type of dark plastic bag from packaging material, a garbage bag, whatever it is, keeping that UV light off of the material. Next thing I keep is stuff inside my fork steer tube. A lot of people put the one up EDC, this thing with the whole outfit, in the steer tube, but I like to save that space for emergency stuff. And I keep that all in a plastic bag here in a Ziploc, and I just unroll the Ziploc right here. I'll show you what's inside. So everything's here. It's got some dollar bills. Dollar bills are good for showing off how rich you are when you're at the trailhead. I'm not that rich, so I just have $1 bills, and I have a $5 bill. This is enough to get a burrito in some locations, not all locations. So this is also used for tire patches. So you can use this as a tire patch if you need to put a patch for the tube. Dollar bills are better than anything else because they're designed to be much more durable as a fabric. They also stay really well in the wet. So that's that. I keep a safety pin. This is used for pulling out small thorns in a tire, or for thorns that get into your hands or fingers. If you live in areas with cactus and stuff like that, super useful. This is my first aid kit. So this is a just antiseptic towelette. I keep a couple Band-Aids here and some athletic tape. This is just standard rock climbing tape or medical tape, and it's just taped around a piece of cardboard you can see right there to give it some structure. I have painkillers, and I have anti-diarrheal medication. So that's an anti-diarrheal, and then I have pain medication here. And so I have Advil, and I have Vicodin from an old prescription. And this is Benadryl, the pink thing right there. So Benadryl is useful for a few reasons. If someone has an allergic reaction to a bee sting out in the wilderness, they're dropping blood pressure, that'll help them keep their blood pressure up and avoid inflammation from that bee sting. The other thing is if you just have allergies, or someone in your group has allergies, and you have springtime and all the flowers are blooming and the dandelions, you definitely want something like a Claritin. So that silver thing right there is a Claritin. And that'll knock out most of the side effects of really bad allergies out there. I personally have allergies, so this is my medical kit. And then the painkillers are important if you need to walk out. You basically have duct tape, sticks, and painkiller, and that's pretty much enough to get you out of any situation if you're not going to call a helicopter, which I don't plan on most rides. And that all fits in my steer tube, so that's wrapped up in that Ziploc bag, and I use this thing called a fork cork. You can see that right there. It's a piece of aluminum that has a screw, and it wedges into your steer tube, and I'll show you how this fits on my bike. The last piece of on-bike storage is I use my pants. So this is just a pair of standard Fox super cheap pants. This is their low-end Ranger from a few years ago, and I keep my cell phone in the pants because it's nice to pull out for maps really quick, and any other types of phone usage like camera or tracking where you are, etc. So here's another pair of pants in the pockets right here. So I'll make sure if I buy a pair of shorts, they have at least one comfortable pocket that fits a phone. And then the last piece is my keys. And on some pants, they'll have belt hooks. Right here, I'll use a carabiner to keep my keys on. And if I don't want it to be dangling, because I'm going on a bigger ride or an earlier ride, I usually put everything in my frame bag, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So this is my Bronson 2.0. It's for most of my riding that I do. You can see the bottle cage right here. My preferred bottle cage is the King Titanium. The Wolf Tooth is also great, the titanium one made by King. Here's the Backcountry Research strap. Underneath here, there's grip tape actually from just general skate grip tape. Allows the tube to not move around. I keep some zip ties, keep my cables running nice and smooth. Another little accessory here I keep is my crank boots to keep the cranks from hitting rocks, or if they do, glide over. This is the frame pack. This is made by Alpine Threadworks in Canada by a single man outfit, and this is where I keep those emergency electrolytes. Underneath here you can see the fork cork, and that's where that Ziploc bag stays. It's also useful for having Ziploc to cover your phone in case it rains. Another accessory that's not necessarily storage, but I use a bell. This is a spur cycle on top of a wolf tooth bell tower. It's designed to integrate into one clamp, and this allows you to alert trail users, and I had great success with this. I also use a Garmin Phoenix for my watch, and I actually just made used some old ESI grips to make a nice little watch mount, and it works fantastic. here's the pump, and right here, if I show you, this is where the cloth surface is. So right there's the cloth surface from the hockey grip tape, and also inside here. So the cloth on cloth, this allows the pump to just stay in one spot. And I've had it move during the middle of races before, so that's why I came out with that. And then right here I have a cadence sensor with a couple extra zip ties, and that's a Garmin cadence sensor. And the other thing that I do, which I'll show you from the other side, is I keep zip ties inside my bottom bracket. So right there, inside, there you go. So you can see right there, tuck in probably like 5 or 10 of them. They weigh pretty much nothing, and they've saved a lot of people's.